Yes, people, welcome to
Yo,
a brand new channel. Sid and Lad, of course. Special content coming out from now on, covering the main top six in the Premier League and major events around all sports. So make sure you guys tune in always. We're going to be doing regular content for sure. So I'm going to introduce my co-host, Mr. Lad. How are you, first of all?
I'm good. How are you? First episode. How are you
First
feeling?
episode. Hopefully, many to come. Many to come for sure. Yeah, I'm good as well. Thanks for asking. But look, we're gonna get straight into the big one. Cristiano Ronaldo two-part interview. One was done on Wednesday. One was done on today, of course, Thursday. And obviously, you're a United fan. What's your before this interview? What was your take on Ronaldo initially with this entire situation?
Uh, in what respect? What part? Like,
In in terms of he walked off, he wasn't happy. Um, maybe he didn't want to be there. Did you have a feeling he didn't want to be there at all? Did you think he
yeah. I
wanted
mean,
to?
you kind of like noticed that from the beginning of the season, right? Um, I look. I mean, everyone, I'm a Ronaldo fan. I've been what he's done for Man United. You know, I mean, after the '99 treble, I didn't think that United would ever get to that level again. And then when you get a guy of this caliber, and arguably will be the greatest to ever do it, well, it depends on who you like, whether you like Messi or Ronaldo, whatever. And he would always, wherever he goes, you know that United is there as well. I mean, obviously, most of his career, he specialized with Madrid, but the main, a lot of his career and what he did initially was with United. So we have to give him that level of respect. So I personally like, obviously, I want United to do well. United should come first. But from this standpoint, my own opinion, I did feel that there is a slight disrespect to his a player like Ronaldo because I felt that he didn't have a run of games. You got to give someone a run of games. We've just given Rashford plenty of chances. Guy's done what 2 3 years of get 2 3 years he's played with United where he's played really poorly, and suddenly he gets the opportunity. Suddenly, just because he plays one good game, and you got a guy who was our top goal scorer, player of the year last year, and then what he doesn't start the first game. He gets one game, he plays poorly, and then suddenly no, he's not the same player anymore. He doesn't have the pace, he doesn't have the shot ability, and this is the guy that has scored the most goals than any other player ever. Okay, that makes so much sense by the media. Makes so much sense.
Exactly. I mean, look, I think you summed it up there. I think you're definitely well said on that one for sure. So we'll get straight into the first part for sure. You know, he walked off the pitch. Ten Hag didn't want to play him. I think, well, tried to bring him on 3 minutes from final whistle, and he walked off as well. What was your initial reaction to that at that
What?
moment when it
What?
first happened when he walked off?
Which one? The preseason or Spurs?
Spurs, sorry.
Spurs. Oh, oh. I, I mean, I thought that was weird, right? Because which player do you ever see walk off early? You knew that was gonna get some sort of some big media presence, right? You knew it. I mean,
Yeah,
immediately when Ronaldo walked off, you knew something wasn't right. I mean, we didn't know what it was, but it just looked off, like
yeah.
when he walked off. Um, yeah, I mean, it's wrong. You can't really do that, right? I don't think if I mean in Sir Alex Ferguson's day, I mean even forget Ferguson, talk about people like Mourinho, how he would have taken it if like Ronaldo walked off early in Madrid, for example, when they were together. He wouldn't have taken that. I mean, 3 minutes before. But then you can understand why he's done it as well. Like I always give this like example to my mates, right? It's like you know, forget about this. Just think of this as a business where we're employees working for, let's say, J.P. Morgan and Morgan Stanley, and we're part of a project, and then we're working on this project, right? And then suddenly we're left out, and they said, "Oh, wait a minute, you can do the last bit, which has no relevance to the project whatsoever." That's literally what happened. United were 2-0 up, and then the last few minutes, they go, "Okay, you can come on." And the fact that he's then mentioned previously when we were down that he didn't bring Ronaldo on out of respect for Ronaldo, he didn't bring him on in the last few minutes, whether we're winning or losing. This time we're winning, and he still brought on. He tried to bring on Ronaldo, which I mean, I don't know how you feel about it, but from my standpoint, I just thought it was a bit off.
I mean, as a Chelsea fan, I'm happy to see this drama happening. I mean, we're not perfect right now. We're struggling, of course. But yeah, it was a bit of a weird one, and I always wanted to hear his opinion because I know I'm sidetracking a bit towards August. He did come out saying that he wants to give his part of, his side because we had a lot of talking from Gary Neville or your Rooney's and stuff that obviously United legends. But it was very interesting to see when he actually walked off against Spurs, or I mean, that time where he wanted to walk. Well, when he walked off, um, the whole media just came at him, and you mentioned Ronaldo's name, you're getting those clicks, you're getting those numbers, and you're getting, how they spin it, and I listened to his interview, and he spoke about it in terms of it's so much disrespect trying to be brought on 3 minutes from the final whistle. With his caliber, he just can't accept it. With what he's won, the trophies, the goals, everything speaks for itself. And he he was just like, I can't accept that. And I totally agree with it. I honestly agree with it because I felt Ten Hag tried to play it very, very cleverly, like in terms of PR, like just playing with the media, getting them on the side, giving them the captaincy as well. Couple games later as well against Aston Villa, I think
I
it
got
was.
something to say about that, but
Yeah, so I mean, look, Ten Hag obviously has been instructed certain ways to do certain things with Ronaldo, and obviously now they've taken off his stand or picture or something at the stadium now. I don't know if you've seen that yesterday or today, whenever it was.
see, we don't know whether that's tag or whether that's one of the execs. Like, we don't know.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's a bit of a
But
crazy.
okay, but think about this, right? So in pre-season, if you watch the Ronaldo interview, the pre-season, he basically talked about how when he got scrutinized for walking off the pitch and basically got a warning about that, right?
Yeah.
He goes 8 other players or 7 other players. I can't remember how many he mentioned. Also walked off at the same time. But he's right when he says, yeah, the only player they spoke about walking off early was Cristiano Ronaldo.
Was that the time when he got a 3-day suspension? Was it that one?
No. He got 3-day suspension after the Tottenham game.
Oh, Tottenham. All right, sorry.
So he got a warning in the pre-season one.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he got a fine, but I know he got a warning about that. But then when he did the Spurs walk off, he got suspension for 3 days. That was in the second interview he spoke about. But like when he mentioned that part, the pre-season, like the media basically span it. It's all about Cristiano Ronaldo. He goes, none of the other players were mentioned. I don't even know. I mean, I haven't gone into depth, but I don't really know the other players that left the ground early. But I knew But I knew Cristiano Ronaldo did, and he's right. They should be mentioned, and the treatment's not the same. And I get it. Yeah, he's the star. He's the world-class star and whatnot. But he's right in the way he's getting treated at the moment. And then Tag is basically just like elevating that part, everything that Ronaldo's doing, and then he's not helping from a media standpoint. It's like he's highlighting everything. When Alex Ferguson or other managers, regardless if you talk about Ancelotti or Mourinho or Klopp, anyone, when they get spoke about their players, they what they do? They kind of keep quiet, or they kind of ignore the question and they just move on.
They move on, yeah,
exactly. But this guy literally just like giving out answers, and they're just firing it back to a level that the media are thinking, wow, this is lovely. Wow. This is front page for me.
Big facts. I do want to mention some of these pundits for sure before we move on to the next topic. I've seen obviously Gary Neville, Rooney, but then I've also seen Graham Souness, Roy Keane backing Ronaldo. One key point that I do want to mention very quickly before we go back to the interview, Roy Keane talking about, I think it was Paul Scholes that called something in the dressing room. I can't remember exactly what happened, but he was given a 2 week break or something.
Yeah, because he didn't want to play one of the games. I think it was against West Ham,
Yeah.
but he didn't want to play one of the games.
So
So
Roy Keane was basically mentioning like, players have their own situations. Why are we judging? Especially we've not heard all sides of the stories. I always like to hear both sides of the stories, which we finally heard now.
mm.
So that's what I want to say. I was surprised it was only Graham Souness, Roy Keane supporting, but then on the other side,
Rio as well. I shout out to Rio, man.
it was
Rio's
50-50. It was 50-50.
Nah, to be fair, look, the stance. I'm not fully agreement with what Ronaldo's done. I don't think he should have done this interview. I'll be honest.
I think you should have.
No. I'll give you. I'll say in a second. The way he's done it or what he said, I don't think he should have done the interview in respect of having a go at the manager. I don't think he should have done that. I think he should have done that behind closed doors. All the other stuff he said, that's fine, But like, even when he mentions about the youngsters in the first interview, like when he mentions about the youngsters and he only selects 3, like if there was even a teeniest possibility that you could come back to Man United, he's just killed it because he's basically not mentioned guys like Garnacho. He's probably good with Garnacho, but he just didn't mention him. And like for a youngster, he's waiting for that name. Like, if Ronaldo says my name, and then those little things can hurt youngsters. Think about it. If you know that Garnacho loves Ronaldo, right? Even the celebration thing that he did when he scored and the whole thing, you can tell. So if you don't mention his name, you can imagine him in the dressing room just being off about it. So I don't know. I wouldn't have mentioned anything
before. I think this interview must have been pre-recorded, like way before. I don't think.
Nah, it wasn't. No. From what the impression that Piers Morgan gave is that it was just done a week before. He goes, it's literally done recently, bro. No, he goes, he just done it like about because in Talk Sport, sorry, they asked him. They I can't remember, was it Darren Bent and there was another guy, and they actually asked Piers Morgan when was the interview done? Was it done just after the Fulham game? Because they're trying to basically pull out that he said he's ill, right? And then he missed the game and he had the interview. But Piers Morgan goes, no, it was done before that, but it was done very recently, which means he could have done it midweek, to be honest.
Yeah.
Do you get it? Like he could have done it midweek. So it's not an issue, man. The guy's probably got his own private jet. He can go anywhere he wants to. He's got all the money in the world.
Yeah, no, definitely.
It's not going to take him long. He's not going to be waiting him all the way for 3 hours. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, he rejected Saudi. I think it was 350 million or something. So that's crazy.
That's not. Think about it. He's worth like 600-700 million, right? That's what they say his net worth is.
Yeah,
and he rejected half his net worth. You have to. So if anyone says he doesn't do it for the, if everyone says that, or anyone says that he does it for the money, he doesn't.
That's case closed.
Case closed on that, bro.
Case closed.
I don't think you think. Can you imagine if Gareth Bale got offered 350 million to Saudi Arabia?
They're playing golf.
He would have dusted. Yeah, he would have gone.
So back to the interview for sure. I do want to share some quotes here, of course. Big up Fabrizio Romano. This was from the first interview. I was close to joining Manchester City in 2021. I was surprised as they tried
this hurt, man. This hurt.
Me. But my history with Manchester United, Sir Alex Ferguson made a difference. The heart was speaking loud in that moment. Obviously, City have come out today saying that they don't know why he said that, as expected for sure. But how would you have felt if he joined City? Honestly,
I would be gutted, man. I don't know if I could hate him because, again, like I said, the trophies he brought to the club is just, to bring a double. The last team to do a double was United. So, because they did the treble. And then so they've done a double in 2008, right? 2008, 2009.
That lucky year.
So it's very hard for me to hate someone. But then on the flip side is every time you put that jersey on, and imagine he suddenly scores 20, 30 goals for City. And with their players, with their midfielders, with the creative spark they would have, can you imagine Kevin De Bruyne keep bringing in crosses for Cristiano Ronaldo? Man, that they would have scored so many goals. And I think it would have been a better fit for him. But obviously, and Pep Guardiola, he would have managed him much better. He knows how to manage people.
Yeah. I totally agree with that as well.
But yeah, I would have been hurt, no doubt. Like
That would
right
have been nice to
now,
see.
I'm gonna be really hurt if he goes to Chelsea. I'll be really hurt if he
I,
goes to
listen,
Chelsea,
I honestly
Arsenal.
think he mentioned it as well. Chelsea. He did mention Chelsea in the
Yeah, he
interview.
did. He did
He
mention
did.
Chelsea. Yeah, the interview. Yeah,
Because I know, yeah, like from what I've been reading, his agent always links up with our owner in Portugal. Always. Like, not just for Ronaldo, but for other clients, obviously, that he manages. He manages like 100 other players. So Ronaldo said himself, it's not just about him. There's other players out there that's being said as well. I'm lagging a bit. I understand. I know I'm lagging a bit. So, Rishi,
you're right now. You're right now. You're fine.
talk to me about the Glazers. His comments on the Glazers, I think, was very, very key. Very key.
Yeah, look, I mean, he's just stated exactly what the fans were thinking, but the fact that he's got his platform, the platform he's got to be able to tell the world about them, speaks volumes.
So fans shouldn't hate him for this interview.
No, but I don't think they hate him for this. I think they love him for this. I think they hate him because of, or not hate him, but they kind of just have something, because at the end of the day, when you a lot of the fans believe, I mean, I don't personally, but a lot of the fans believe that United are going in the right direction. They're doing much better than they did last season, which I don't really think so. I mean, statistics says it doesn't, right? Anyone who listens to Sky Sports numbers or reads Sky Sports numbers are stupid. I mean, I saw the other day where they've written, they were comparing Ronaldo's stats, for when he's playing and when he's not, and they had defender numbers on, basically saying that United conceded more goals when Ronaldo was on the pitch when he was off the pitch. Like, what's Ronaldo got to do with defense? Like, there's nothing. He's if he never defends, it doesn't matter. We got another 9 or 10 players on the pitch that does that stuff, right? The guy is there to just score goals. He's not there to defend. So what the hell are the numbers? People are just trying to find little things to just like criticize him, right?
This season,
But
they're pushing the agenda now, saying obviously they've won a lot more without Ronaldo this season, and I think it's a bit silly with these comparisons, especially because with everything that he's gone through, personal death, of course, in his family, um, the way they just bring up these stats is crazy, man. It's absolute crazy the way they do it. They flip it differently. It's not just Sky Sports. Like, obviously, I look at Live Score, look at Sofa Scores. I see so many rating sites. They come up with the new stats that I've not heard of. So when me and you debate about Lampard and Scholes and that, if we use these stats, we'll bring out new arguments now. I'm telling you now, we'll bring out new arguments.
it's silly, man, because this whole pressing thing, right? But yeah, back to Glazers quickly. Yeah, so I just, in terms of, I would say in terms of these chairmen, obviously they shouldn't be in the club. They bought the club based on debt, so that they borrowed loads of money in order to purchase United in the first place. They, so if you go and check, I don't know the exact numbers, but we're not really paying it off, right? We're just keeping afloat. Now, if I told you that Ronaldo, when he signed, right, for United, his shirt sales generated 187 million in revenue. You would and think about it, right? The debt that United have got right now, I think it's about 550. I can't remember now. That's around one third of the debt, right?
Yeah.
You would think some of it would be paid off, but it's not, because these guys are just using it and taking money out. They're squeezing United out. So United are never going to move forward without it. And Ronaldo knows this, and he's literally stated this in the interview that he's criticized the Glazers. He's criticized them to a level that I think he's made everyone aware now, and he's forcing these guys to take notice that they might now have to force to sell. And I think this interview is probably great in that respect. Like, for his platform, for him to bring this out, it's really raised awareness for these idiots. Sorry, but I just can't stand that. I'm trying not to swear right now, but
it's all good. You can. It's all good. It's after 9 p.m. It's no longer PG. It's no longer.
This is gonna be on YouTube.
No, definitely.
And Bavic's watching.
Do you want to give a quick shout out to anyone out there?
Yeah, I give a quick shout out to BB. Arsenal are coming second. Don't worry.
He
They're not
did
coming
speak about
first.
Arsenal, saying that he wouldn't mind Arsenal winning the Premier League. Ronaldo.
Yeah, I know. Don't,
That
don't,
surprised
don't,
me.
don't, don't,
That surprised
yeah,
me.
don't do that. Yeah,
Yeah,
but to be fair, he said only if United don't win the Premier League. Yeah, so
we know
remember he
United
did
are
use the
nowhere near.
words. Huh?
We know United are nowhere near, man. Let's be honest. But just to back up your point about the Glazers as well, Ronaldo spoke about zero progress in the technologies. I think he sent a little shot to the chefs, which was jokes as well.
He
But
said
he's
they're nice
saying
people, but I think
nice.
I don't know whether he meant that the chefs have been released or I don't know. Don't know what he meant by that actually.
That was a bit
In the
mad
first,
when you think about it. That was a bit mad
yeah,
still.
yeah, but I mean, look, he's clearly stated the infrastructure, and hence why all the money right now, uh, they're not able to afford any to change anything in the training facilities and things like that. And obviously you get the fans' pressure of wanting to buy players, and then they're forcefully buying crap players or players that don't fit in United, and then United are not performing. This all comes from the top, man. It doesn't matter if you have Eric Ten Hag, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, actually ignore Ragnick because he's not coach
He
really.
said some interesting things on Ragnick, saying that was actually so deep. Like that was actually sad when I heard that. But I'm
What?
saying,
But okay, all right. People are like going on. I've been listening to a lot of Talk Sport lately, yeah, and they said it's so disrespectful what he said about Ragnar. But let's be honest. Did you hear about him before? Have you heard him? Have you heard of his name before? Because I didn't, right?
no, I
And
knew
I
it was
know
a sporting
friends who
director.
haven't heard of him. So it's not like he's being disrespectful, huh?
For transfers, I knew about him. I did know about it. I said,
Yeah, but did you know him as a coach? I never heard of
I
his
didn't
name
know as a
before.
coach. I didn't know as
Like
a coach.
everyone knew who Eric Ten Hag was. Everyone knew he was the manager of Ajax. I didn't know who Ragnar was. So I don't think it's that disrespectful. I really don't.
Fair play.
I don't know why people are making a big deal of it.
No, it's true. It's true. It's true. I just felt it was funny when I first heard it. I didn't expect it personally. But when you're Ronaldo, you
You
done
can
it
say
all in
what
the
you
game.
want, man.
Say what you want. So obviously Messi. The Messi comments. Let's get into that for sure. A lot of people love Messi. Eye test, natural gifted. They enjoy that, which is fine. Ronaldo, hard worker, different leagues. A number of goals across different leagues as well. Two of the greatest players that I've seen personally. Um, I like both. Obviously, I'm more Ronaldo.
I'm trying to gauge which one you like more.
I'm more
I'm sure we've had
Ronaldo,
a conversation
but
about this before.
I appreciate both. But obviously, since Ronaldo joined United, I haven't been supporting him like that. So obviously, Chelsea United, of course. But Messi Ronaldo final would be nice in the World Cup. They haven't had dinner yet. Hopefully, they have dinner soon.
I really hope that it's not a Messi Ronaldo World Cup final because it's literally going to take. It's
That's
going to
gonna.
take out the rest of the players. They might as well just call it Ronaldo versus Messi because you know that whoever wins that is
That's it.
basically the best of all time, and there's nothing the other one can do. It's just, and I don't think I want to take the risk with that one because obviously based on Ronaldo's performances this year, it hasn't been as good as, and Messi's doing quite well, even though it's in the Farmers League. He's still doing.
Listen, Ronaldo is still a big game player, man. When needed,
Yeah, no, I just think he needs a run of games. And look, truth be told, like I said, I'm not fully in agreement with this interview. I think there's parts that he could have left out the Eric Ten Hag thing. He could have left out criticizing youngsters in United. I think like leaving out players, he should have mentioned them. But then in terms of I think I was totally in agreement with him in terms of the Gary Neville Rooney thing. I was in agreement with him talking about the Glazers. I was in agreement with him talking, about his personal life because people want to know about Ronaldo. If you talk about there's groundbreaking players in different sports. If you talk about people like LeBron James, when he gives an interview, everyone's going to listen. You talk about people in cricket like Kohli, or you talk about Lewis Hamilton. If he comes out into, people want to listen to that. So we never heard Ronaldo talk like this. So it's great that we're hearing it. It's just some of the stuff I wouldn't agree with, but like for example, let's talk about the Gary Neville and Rooney thing, right? I mean, I don't know what you think about the whether his own teammates should criticize him, considering he is a Sky Sports pundit. I mean, let me get your take on it first, and then I'll chime in. But I'm wondering what you thought, what he said about him in the interview, because he said he was something about him being jealous, and I don't think Gary Neville was jealous. Personally,
I don't think he's jealous. But I think especially with Gary Neville, they pick and choose. So when you had Ollie in charge, you didn't really hear anything. Let's be real, because they were best friends, or not best friends, but you know what I mean. He had his back. You didn't hear anything bad. You didn't hear them. You didn't hear him call him out. You didn't hear anything when he was manager. So from what I've seen, it's picking and choosing, and I do think when you're in media and you want that clickbait, or you want that story, or you want something coming your way, Ronaldo's right in that aspect. You mentioned his name. That's it. You're gaining everything. So Gary Neville, even I mean, we won't get into it too much, but even the Qatar thing about people don't want to go to World Cup to do media and stuff, I think is absolute nonsense. There's so many problems in every country that we can go through. Piers Morgan even said it himself. So I feel like in media, we pick and choose when to talk on certain things, and not as a neutral on everything.
Yeah, because I look, I get where Ronaldo's coming from, because if I had, I mean, we've worked together once upon a time, and imagine you got like a, huh?
I was gonna say the worst manager, but yeah, Cameron.
Oh, I'm meant to be the best manager. What are you talking about? Anyway, yeah, but we've worked together, and imagine like you become like this top media guy, and I'm coming to the end of my career as an accountant, and and then you basically criticize me publicly. I think there's certain things Gary Neville can say about his criticism, like he's not the same and whatnot, but then to actually state that he should leave the club or terminate his contract, I can understand why he's peeved about that. And same with Rooney. Like Rooney's probably one of the, apparently, I mean, he said Rooney went to his house 6 months ago. So I mean, that's gonna hurt more, because obviously that means that he's close. Now he's saying he's not friends with him, but you wouldn't invite your mate to your house unless he's your mate. So I think the Rooney thing really hurt him, and Gary Neville thing as well. So the fact that he mentioned people like Roy Keane and Rio Ferdinand, and I don't know. Gary, I don't think Gary Neville should have said it personally, but I understand why he said it, and he's come out publicly today. I don't know if you saw the.
Sky Sports. Yeah.
He basically said, "Look, I'll still shake his hand. He's a legend. I think he's the best player ever." And he goes that I've got no, but he just goes fair game. He criticized me. He has no animosity towards Ronaldo, and I think Ronaldo should make up with him. And same with Rooney. Just you can tell these guys, they love Ronaldo to bits. It's just maybe he said it in the media, and then suddenly he didn't realize. Maybe people would have come around him and said, maybe you should have been a bit more tame with what you're saying. But then a lot of these guys are saying, well, you should be critical of these guys. But I think he should let just Carragher run with it, and he kind of just mellows back slightly, like he did with Ole. He did mellow back a bit with Ole.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel he should have done that with Ronaldo. But then I know a lot of people would disagree with me. I'm sure there'll be comments that will disagree with me on that one. But
nah, definitely, for sure. Before we wrap up, of course, what is your final take on what you think is going to happen to Ronaldo now? Where do you think it's going to happen?
Do you know what? We should have started that. We should have started off that with in the beginning, and and it should be like a 2-second segment. He's gone.
But where?
Okay, where? Okay, well, for a fact, he's not staying in United. It's impossible.
What if he
Tag brings him back here? He's gonna just training with the kids, and he's only doing it just to pee off Ronaldo and show his authority, which doesn't make sense because you're just undermining the greatest player ever. And I think if Eric Ten Hag did that, then it would be career suicide for him as well, because you got to understand who you're doing it to. You're not just doing it to some average player; you're doing it to one of the best ever. You're not going to get Messi treatment. Messi's not going to be treated like that. Nor is someone like Benzema or anyone to that level of that high caliber player. You're not going to do that stuff to him. So I would. So in terms of United, he's gone, right? We know that, right? In terms, I think personally, he's going to go Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich need a striker, and so personally, I think it makes sense for him to go.
Not anyone in Premier League. No.
I don't want him to go to the Premier League. Stop mentioning the Premier League.
This guy is showing a lot of love to Arsenal. He has been showing a lot of love in Arsenal, even when he was at Juve. He's been showing love to Arsenal.
Yeah,
cheeky Arsenal.
Yeah, the problem with Arsenal is, all right. Let's break it down. The problem with Arsenal is they're not in the Champions League right now. He wants Champions League football right now, right? So it doesn't matter about next season, and he's going to be older next season, right? So you got to take that into consideration. But they want it right now. He's not going to go to Arsenal. He could potentially go to Chelsea, but the only reason I say not to Chelsea anymore is because Tuchel's gone, and now you got the Brighton manager. I forgot his name now. Right?
Graham Potter.
And let's be honest, he hasn't proven himself. And someone like Ronaldo, who's worked with the greatest managers in the world or ever, like apart from Pep, he's pretty much worked with everyone, right? And then we're saying that he's going to work under someone who's the same caliber, as pretty much Eric Ten Hag. I mean, apart from Eric Ten Hag doing it in Holland, he hasn't really done it in English Premier League. So it's pretty much the same thing. So I mean, the Brighton manager's got more experience than he has. So for me personally, that's the only reason he wouldn't go to Chelsea. And Chelsea's not performing well. It would be in the back of his head, if everything doesn't go right, I'm going to be scrutinized by the media again in England if Chelsea doesn't do well or I don't score. So it's probably in the back of his mind. I mean, I would think like that, right? So the only things that make sense is abroad. And the one that stands out, everyone knows he's heavily linked with Bayern Munich. I mean, is there any other club?
No. I think that's
Sporting have said no. He ain't definitely going back. Madrid won't take him back. There's no way. He's not going to go to Atletico Madrid. There's just too much bad blood there.
You mentioned Napoli. You did mention Napoli.
Yeah. Napoli. That would be a good fit. But then, how would Juve take it? Like, it's just.
Yeah. No, listen. Before my internet starts messing up even more, I'd like to obviously thank everyone that's been watching. I hope you lot enjoyed this little first segment that we have, of course.
Episode 1.
Episode 1, people.
More to go. Yeah.
More to go. Sid and Lad, of course. A lot of people, group chats, very excited to see this, of course. I've sent it to everyone. So hopefully you lot enjoy this. We'll be coming up with more episodes very soon. It depends on how available Lad is. He's a very, very busy man.
No. This is going to be consistent, mate. We're going to do this during the World Cup.
There we have it, folks. You heard it here first, man. We're going to be doing it during the World Cup. Make sure you guys like the video, subscribe, and hit the bell notification so you never miss an upload. And yeah, we'll catch you guys soon, man. Lad, peace.
Cheers, man. Safe.